Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be Thunder Ducky. This is going to be a movie review for... Oh, this way. Five Nights at Freddy's. Right over here. Right there. Decided to go ahead and watch it on Peacock because my brother didn't want to go to the theater. I didn't really want to go to the theater. And to be honest with you, Peacock subscription was a lot cheaper than going to see the movie at the theater. Now, I am so glad that we didn't. I'm really glad that we didn't. But before I get into it, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, you comment, subscribe, turn on bell notifications so whenever I put up a video, live stream premiere, and all that fun stuff, including putting up shorts. I'm going to try to... just a smidgen. There we go. Yeah, so this was easily very disappointing for me. And before I get further into this review also, let me also specify that I'm coming at this from the perspective of a normie. I haven't touched any of the games. I watched Markiplier play the first one, and then I watched Security Breach, so my knowledge of the universe isn't that great. Completely coming at this from the perspective of a normie. So this movie could work for fans. It could work, because there are diehard fans for every single franchise there is, but there's also the regular fans. They might have enjoyed this movie. I think my brother did a little bit. I did not. I absolutely thought this movie was trash. It was slow. It was boring. They focused on Josh Hutcherson just a little bit too much. I'm okay with the character having his own story, his own reason for being in the franchise or the movie or whatever. But they did a little bit too much with him. I think they also did a little too much with the ghost children, and the... I don't want to get into spoilers because it's its opening weekend. Not too many spoilers, but there's something that happens to Josh's character in the story, and it's kind of his motivation, his drive throughout the whole movie. He's trying to figure out the events of this situation, and there's really no payoff, if that makes sense, because a certain situation happens. They figure out who's responsible for a certain situation. He's dealt with these kids before, but one in particular doesn't show up. Now, I think it would have made a lot more sense. It would have been better. A little bit. Because it was still a really boring movie. If this certain person had shown up near the end of the movie. And again, they and it's in the trailers, when Josh Hutcherson's in that, forest area of Nebraska or whatnot, and, which is funny, forest in Nebraska, trees. I don't know, the ghost kids were used too much, in my opinion. The animatronics were not used enough. I mean, it's called Five Nights at Freddy's. It's not... Let's figure out what happened here. Hi, Boo. Let's figure out what happened here featuring Five Nights at Freddy's. It's not that. It seems like for this movie, the elements of Five Nights at Freddy's kind of took a back seat, and it was the subplot for this movie, because the movie was primarily about Josh Hutcherson's character figuring out what happened in the situation, and yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's was kind of like the backdrop. That was its relevance, is it was the backdrop. And then they try to develop the two parts together later on in the movie, but it just didn't work for me, because a certain character did not show up at the end. If the character had, then I would have appreciated it more. I would have. You can ask my brother, because who's more than likely going to watch this review. I called the villain early, when you're introduced. I was like, this is the bad guy. And let's just say that he did a lot better in a different movie, whenever it pertains to him being a bad guy. A whole lot better, as a matter of fact. He almost plays the same character, but he does it worse. which I didn't really like. I mean, I like that he's gotten a second chance at this particular type of character, but his first time was so much better than this. And I understand why the budget was a lot cheaper than a lot of people are thinking. Because the animatronics were the slow kind because it was the first kind for the first game. So that I didn't have a problem with, except Foxy can run. I did appreciate the fact that Foxy kind of hummed before, it's kind of his announcement calling card or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, there's just not a whole lot to this movie. I was disappointed because I was expecting at least a thrilling movie, not horror. Because it takes a lot to get me when it comes to horror games, movies, books, whatever. So I wasn't anticipating getting scared. There are a few jump scares. Were ass. I didn't get the cupcake. My brother tried explaining the cupcake, but I still don't get the significance or the importance of said cupcake. One thing I did appreciate, though, was there's one of the jump scares is with Foxy, and he does the Five Nights at Freddy's screech whenever one of the animatronics grabs you in the first game. I kind of like that throwback. There are a couple YouTuber cameos in this. Markiplier is not one of them. He was supposed to, but I guess he was working on Iron Lung, which prevented him from doing it, so he's not in this movie. A nod would have been nice. Maybe a picture on a wall as the previous security guard, or Wharf Stash showing up or something. I don't know. Something could have been done, but wasn't. Who knows? Maybe they're planning on doing more movies, especially with the way that this ended, and he'll show up as one of the titular characters in it later on, and they didn't want him to be killed off or written off or whatever, so his ability to pop in later is open. I don't know what the plans are. What I can say is, unless you're a diehard fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, watch this on Peacock. Don't go to the theater. It's a very boring movie. I'm going to probably get some flack for this, and that's fine. I mean, people are going to like my review or they're going to hate it, and they got their own opinions. It's what it is. This is just mine. I didn't like this movie whatsoever. There were tidbits, yes, that I did like. However, it wasn't enough to encompass the entire movie. So my rating is going to be along with Jeremy Johns. I mean, Jeremy Johns came out and gave a dog shit, and I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10. It was not a fun experience for me. Seeing my brother, though, with the lore elements, kind of trying to like process the shit that's going on in the movie, was more entertaining than the fucking movie. So let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Are you going to go see it? Did you watch it on Peacock? Let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys later.